We'll go right to the celebration of excellence, and we'll turn it over to Mrs. Hecht.
Great, thank you very much. Well, it is my great honor this evening to introduce the 2021 valedictorian of Bolton High School, Brooke Began. Let's give Brooke a round of applause. Brooke has involved herself in many parts of Bolton High School. To name a few, she has served as president of Student Council, vice president of National Honor Society, took part in many extracurricular activities, including volleyball, where she served as captain. Brooke has received many awards, and this reflects how hardworking and determined Brooke truly is. She was recently, you may remember, the recipient of this year's Scholar Athlete Award, as well as the CAB Award. Brooke will be attending Bentley University in the fall to study actuarial sciences. Brooke, congratulations to you and to your family. Well done, young lady, well done. Would you like to say anything?
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
Great job, congrats. Next, it is my honor to present this year's salutatorian for the graduating class of 2021, and that honor goes to Marshall Flowers. Marshall, congratulations.
Thank you.
Sure, Marshall involves himself in different aspects of Bolton High School. He currently serves as president of National Honor Society, a varsity letter winner in all 4 years in cross country and track, and continuously volunteers for his community. Marshall's teachers report that he has exceptional academic credentials, great work ethic, and leadership skills, as well as determination that will set him up for success and a desire to continuously learn. Marshall will be attending the University of Connecticut in the fall to study computer science. Marshall, congratulations to you and your family. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me here. It means a lot.
That's awesome. Congratulations and well deserved. Brooke and Marshall both. Well done. Next, we have some CAS, Connecticut Association of Schools awards. The first set of awards is for the CAS Scholar Leader for Bolton Center School. And our first recipient is Emma DeRogers. Congratulations, Emma.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Emma is one of this year's recipients of the CAS Awards. She is a motivated, dependable student who always gives her best. As a high honor student, Emma's dedication to her academics is admirable. She has proven to be resilient. Her commitment and dedication to her studies has never wavered. Teachers can always rely on Emma to be an active participant in class, work well with her peers, and contribute to fostering a positive classroom climate. She exudes the BARC expectations and understands the importance of treating one another with respect and kindness, especially during difficult times. When asked one thing she has learned this year, she said, "I learned that mental health and well-being are more important than most people think when it comes to school and learning." Emma's heartfelt responses showcases her maturity and self-awareness. Truer words were never spoken, young lady. Very insightful. She is also a dedicated athlete. She's been a member of school cross-country teams since 6th grade, even offering up weekend personal time to help out at meets. She enjoys playing rec league soccer, is a voracious reader, and she has aspirations to be a marine biologist. Congratulations, Emma, to you and your family. Well done.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Congratulations. Our next BCS CAS Scholar Leader recipient is Shepard Livingston. Congratulations, Shepard.
Thank you.
Welcome. Shepard is an extremely engaged student, both academically and extracurricularly. He's received high honors all throughout his middle school years, thanks to his unbelievable dedication and intrinsic desire to push himself and his learning further. Aside from his passion, he has many others, including running cross country, sharing his love of spelling words with the spelling team, and participating in student council. He also shows strong leadership skills through his involvement in Boy Scouts, as well as other community service groups and projects. He also embodies the BARC expectations for Bolton Center School. He's extremely reliable, can always be counted on to do his very best. Not only is he an advocate for himself, but he also extends assistance to others to help them achieve success as well. When asked about the one thing he has learned this year, he said, "I learned that I enjoy being around people and learning in a school environment more than I ever realized." Touche on that as well, young man, very insightful. Shepard aspires to be an engineer, business owner, investor, philanthropist, or athlete. Congratulations, Shepard, to you and your family. Well done, sir. Would you like to say anything else, Shepard?
No, I don't have anything to say. Just thank you.
All right, that's awesome. It's great that you're outside. I think that's wonderful. Our next award is the CAS Award at the high school for Lillian Gearing. Congratulations, Lillian. This is a motivated and talented young artist. Lily is not afraid to challenge herself and develop her work to meet her vision. Her work has been shown in various exhibits, and some examples include Students Art Showcase at the Art Center East Gallery in Vernon and the annual Artists of Bolton Art Show. Lily's learning extends beyond high school art courses. She attended summer intensive course at Rhode Island School of Design and has taken UConn ECE Drawing 1 at Bolton High School. She chose to focus her senior capstone on animation because of the experience that she had gained. For her project, she challenged herself to create her own CGI animation short. Her capstone presentation was inspirational and honest. She comfortably shared the setbacks and successes that she encountered throughout the creative process of her project. She learned so much from the capstone experience and is eager to continue to study animation at the college level. During these challenging times, Lily has turned to art to keep her centered and focused, and she is dedicated to making her own way and being successful in her search for a place in the arts community. Lily, congratulations on this recognition. She is planning to study virtual reality development at Ringling College of Art and Design in Sarasota, Florida. Congratulations, Lily, to you and your family. She's in the chat and says thank you. Our next CAS Award recipient this evening from Bolton High School is George Takulski. Congratulations, George. George is a young man who's an excellent student, a talented musician and performer, and a helpful, kind individual with a wonderful sense of humor. He's received numerous honors in performing arts throughout his high school career. He's been a featured soloist during several school choral performances, including an adjudicated music festival in Washington, D.C. in the spring of 2018. He was accepted by audition to Eastern Region Music Festival in 2018 as a tenor singer, and again in 2019 as well. He also represented Bolton at the NCCC Music Festival during his first 2 years of high school. In early 2020, he was accepted in Connecticut All-State Music Festival Chorus through a highly competitive audition process. In fact, he was only one of 2 students from Bolton High School accepted to All-State in the past 10 years. Go, George. He's also performed lead roles in Bolton High School Drama Club productions, High School Musical, Urinetown, The Addams Family, and A Christmas Carol. And in the music classroom, he has consistently served as a strong leader and role model who always supports and encourages other students. George is planning on studying history and international policy at the University of Limerick, Ireland. Say hello to my countryman, George, please. Congratulations to George and his family on this honor. Well done, George. Should I say anything?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations. Next, we have our scholar athletes from Bolton High School. So the Scholar Athlete Program annually recognizes 2 high school seniors from each member high school whose academic and athletic careers have been exemplary whose personal standards and achievement are a model to others and who possess high levels of integrity, self-discipline, and courage. Brooke Began is this year's female scholar athlete from Bolton High School. Congratulations, Brooke.
Thank you.
Brooke is a passionate, driven, and involved young lady. Her self-discipline and integrity have her following her own path, leading her school community.
Someone has the keys.
Sorry, Daddy.
The class,
That's cool.
could I just ask everyone to put their microphones on mute, please? In the classroom, Brooke strives for excellence and a deeper understanding throughout her classes. She's not afraid to ask questions and reflect upon her own learning. She challenges herself by enrolling in 3 AP classes and a UConn early college experience course. Her organization and pursuit of knowledge have allowed her to excel in these rigorous courses. She exemplifies what it means to be an outstanding student athlete. She is an active member of our school community, showing her leadership through student council and various clubs. She's participated in a number of extracurricular activities, including being a member of student council, youth group, and drama club. She's an integral member of the class of 2021 and on the volleyball court, doing whatever the class and the team needs to be done. She's also shapes the school by being vice president, then president of Bolton High School Student Council. She's very driven on the volleyball court. She's been a member of varsity team since her junior year, eager to play any position asked of her. She puts forward extra effort throughout the season to make herself the best that she can be. Brooke is a leader with the girls and does not put up with any drama. She has shown tremendous growth as an athlete and a member of the Bolton High School team and is a role model for our younger athletes. One part of Brooke that stands out is her faith. She fully integrates its values in her life. She is accepting of her peers and finds purpose in giving back to the community. She is grounded and purposeful in her actions. She shows acceptance, respect, and empathy to those around her. It is for these qualities that Brooke Began is so worthy a recipient of the Scholar Athlete Award. Brooke, congratulations.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Well deserved. And finally this evening, last but certainly not least, our Scholar Athlete for the males, Jack Gallagher. Congratulations, Jack. Jack excels academically and he has enveloped himself in every aspect of Bolton High School. He's one of the special individuals who has and will continue to make significant contributions in his future field of study, workplace, and surrounding community. He has worked tirelessly to balance rigorous course load and is a reliable and consistent participant in many clubs and activities, such as Student Council, President of Future Business Leaders of America, mentor for Unified Sports, and vice president of the Donut Club. In addition to his high grades, his strong service and character has secured his spot on the National Honor Society, as well as serving the board for 2 years. He's a 12-letter varsity athlete, meaning he has played soccer, basketball, and golf at the varsity level at Bolton High School since grade 9. His leadership shines on the various playing fields, and he serves as captain of the soccer and basketball teams. In his spare time, he shares his athletic talent with others through his volunteer coaching of town recreational teams, as well as his part-time work as a soccer referee. Jack gives 100% on and off the field and always fosters an inclusive and supportive environment. Jack is planning on attending UConn in the fall to study finance. It's for all these qualities and more that make Jack Gallagher a very deserving recipient of this award. Jack, congratulations to you as well. Well deserved. Would you like to say anything, Jack?
Thank you. This means a lot. I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Mrs. Hackett.
Congratulations again to all our award recipients. Can we give them one more round of applause?
Mrs. Hecht, if I may, could I just throw 2 pieces of trivia in here? So for our board members who've been with us in the past, recognizing our CAS Arts Award winners and our scholar athletes it's new to the board, and I'm so grateful that you took the time to do that. Typically, those awards are given at a very nice banquet at the AquaTurf. I get the opportunity to sit with families and enjoy a meal, and we've really missed out on that. So I'm very grateful the board took the time to recognize George and Lily for their CAS Arts and for recognizing Brooke and Jack for Scholar Athlete. And I would be in so much trouble with Mrs. Midford if I didn't mention that Brooke Began is the first Scholar Athlete volleyball player at Bolton High School. So once again, Brooke's setting records as we go along.
We love record setting at Bolton High School. That's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Miceli. And that concludes our celebration of excellence tonight.
Okay, go on to any comments or communication from the audience.
I would like to offer to all our award recipients, you are more than welcome to stay and continue to join us, or feel free to enjoy the beautiful evening outside. Totally up to you.
And congratulations to all of you.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't hear any comments, so let's go ahead to any additions to the agenda.
None this evening.
None? Okay. Routine business. Look, we need to approve the minutes from April 8th, 2021, the business meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second?
Rhea will second.
Thank you. Are there any corrections, comments? Okay, we'll go ahead and vote to approve the business meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Yes, this is Ben. I abstain.
Okay, me too, because I wasn't there. And no, any objections? Sorry, I'm just getting that word. Good. All right, approved.
Point of order, I'm not sure that a 3-0 vote counts as an approval. It's not a majority.
Question. We weren't objecting.
So wait a minute. How many people voted in favor of the minutes?
Only 3, which is not a majority of the board.
But it's yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Wait, hold on, Andrew's on. Andrew, he was on. What do we do with this?
So, why don't we come back
To it?
Why don't we table it for later on in the meeting? How about
Good
that?
idea. We'll table that for now. Okay, let's try with the April 29th Board of Ed special meeting.
Well, we should table that one too, I think.
Table that one because it's gonna be the same situation.
Why don't we just do that? Yeah, why don't we do all the,
We'll
Well,
table
maybe
all of
it-
those for later.
I don't know, it may not be. Well, let's try it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think we're fine for the next one.
I'm just looking to make sure that I was there before I. All right, do we have a motion to approve the special meeting minutes?
I'll make
So
that.
moved.
And second? Is there a second?
Who'd you get for the
I
motion?
will second.
I had Anne for the first motion.
So I'll second it. Rhea.
Thank you, Rhea. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you. And any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and all those in favor say aye.
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 Any objections, opposed, sorry? Abstentions? All right, that one passed. Okay, so let's go on to the committee reports. Curriculum is the first one on there. So we met last week. We had a great presentation on a new text for environmental science that looks like it's going to be very engaging. That you'll hear more from Sarah later on. There was also an update on world languages, which will also be updated later by Sarah. Is there anything else, Chris, that you think of? That was it. Okay. Finance Committee.
Finance Committee met this morning, and at this point, we are 72% expended in our budget. Compared to last year, we were 75%. And I think Mrs. Hecht is going to take us through some things in the budget. You're on mute.
Thank you. Mr. Miceli, could you pull up the PDF on transfers, please, above that first? Thank you. So we have some transfers to share with you this evening. The first one is the transfer that the board made at the last board meeting for the $50,000 for the Chromebooks, and I have an update on that. We were able to order them. We've already received half of them, so that's good news. I have even better news. We wrote our ESSER 2 grant request to the state, and in that we had put 20,000 of the 50,000 for Chromebooks, and that grant was approved. Moving forward with that, this past Monday, superintendents across the state had a sort of an emergency call, if you will, with the State Department of Education regarding the American Rescue Plan funds, which are also ESSER funds. For ease of understanding, we'll call those ESSER 3 funds. It was made clear in that meeting that the ESSER 3 funds, Bolton is receiving $169,000 and some odd dollars. Of that $169,000, 20% must be set aside for either summer learning, extended learning, helping to address learning loss. That is required by federal law for every district that's receiving money. So having said that, it was stated on the call that districts could put in a revision to their ESSER 2 monies, because many districts wrote, as did Bolton, for part of that grant to go towards our summer program. So we sent in a revision and asked for the Chromebooks to be fully paid for out of ESSER 2. And we're going to be putting the summer program into our ESSER 3 grant request. Our ESSER 2 revision has already been approved. So we will be able to return these monies to the town. So I wanted to just share that with everyone. So that's good news. We had to purchase the domain 5-year subscription for the high school on GoDaddy, some more PE instructional supplies, some additional supplies in music, as well as world language, as well as math. We needed a laptop power cord supply adapter, some more math supplies. We need calculator batteries for mathematics. We have a couple of lines about porta potty rentals for outside for spring athletics, a ViewSonic and cart for PE, and to upgrade sound equipment in the commons at Bolton High School. If we could go back to the other one, please, and if we could go to the last page and maybe make it just a little bigger, please. So as you can see here, we currently have a projected balance after returning the $275,000 initially that the board committed to next year's budget, plus the additional $200,000 towards next year's budget. We trued up some more savings due to positions we still have not been able to fill. So we're looking at that projected balance. The $50,000 that I talked about is in that balance. I do anticipate there will still be additional monies once we finally finalize the year out. So we will be returning money to the town that will go towards the following year's budget. Any questions?
So are you saying that there is or is not more than $50,000 that we could commit to the town now?
I didn't think we were discussing committing any monies further to the town. I didn't say that.
Okay, I apologize. I must
I
have
guess
misunderstood.
So when I talked about the 50,000 to return, what I meant was we're not going to spend it out of Board of Ed funds, the money that you transferred. We're able to purchase the Chromebooks with grant funds. So we'll be able to return that money. Because
But
we're
not
not going
this
to need
year.
to. Well, we'll be returning it this year, which will go into the till for not next year's budget, but the following year's budget.
Right, so, okay, so my question is, I guess my question is, can we return it this year so that it goes into the budget that's currently being discussed?
So certainly the board can do that if they wish to do it. The one caution I would offer, which I have also shared with the Board of Finance previously, is that if we don't have some monies that just simply get returned once June 30th ends and we finalize our books at the end of the summer, we will not have that to start with for the following budget cycle. So while we have a hole now, I am very concerned about what the future also brings. So I just think we have to be, I would just urge the board to be cautious. I think the board has done a great job of having a shore up money and returning monies to go towards next year's budget. But again, I just worry about the following year.
Just so you know, Kristen, your audio is breaking up quite a bit, so I'm not sure if we missed some of what you were saying or.
Yeah, my internet connection just went unstable. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that seems to be better.
Okay, so again, I am concerned about making sure we're not in a hole for the following year if we don't have some monies that simply get returned as part of the normal process of events that happens every year at the end of a budget cycle.
Okay. So I guess I'll make a motion then to approve the transfers that are presented this evening.
Thank you.
Second, this is Ben.
Thank you.
You're muted, Sue.
Talking away, guys, come on. Thank you. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor? Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions, sorry. All right, motion carries. And was that everything for finance?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, personnel committee?
Do you want to take that, Ben, or? I think he's engaged in childcare, so.
Yeah, I'm carrying the baby. If you could field this one, that would be fantastic.
Sure. Personnel met on Tuesday with the superintendent to discuss her forthcoming review and contract, and we'll be discussing that with the full board during executive session. And then if I might, I was able to check Robert's Rules of Order, and I was actually incorrect earlier. It is just a simple majority that's required, and we had a simple majority of the quorum, so I guess we
Thanks for checking it, because I no, thank you.
The vote was completed, so I think it can be counted as a proper vote.
So it was 3 in favor, 2 abstain, correct?
Yeah, Sue and Ben abstained.
Sue and Ben. Thank you for checking.
Yeah, I'm sorry I jumped to the wrong conclusion.
No worries.
Okay, that's it for personnel. And BHS student report, please. Is this their last one? No, okay.
Spring sports championship season is quickly approaching. The tennis team has a record of 1-12. Softball has a record of 3-8. The boys track team has a record of 6-2, and the girls track team has a record of 3-5. Both track teams have athletes qualifying for NCCC's in state, and so far this year there are 4 new school records set.
The upperclassmen have started taking AP exams, which will continue for the next few weeks. The golf team has a record of 1-7, and their next match is on this upcoming Monday. The baseball team has a record of 0-14, and their next game is tomorrow on Friday. And students and staff have done a great job following COVID guidelines in school for the rest of the year.
Thank you. And as always, if you want to go ahead. Thank you for staying with us. Community meeting reports. Chris?
Yes, so the CREC meeting for last month was apparently canceled at the last moment. I never heard why. So obviously I didn't attend that. But the Bolton Scholarship Fund met last month. I was also unable to attend that meeting, but I can report that the deadline for scholarships has closed. It was this past Tuesday, so all scholarships are in, and the committee that reviews them is beginning its work, and awards will be announced in June.
Thank you. Anything else for community reports? No. Okay. And superintendent of schools report.
Thank you. So first, we're going to start with a Bolton Public School learning update. So we returned to 5 days a week of in-person learning this past Monday. For distance learning, we have 8% or 44 of our students now remote at BCS, which our numbers are way down, which is great. And 13.5% or 36 of our students are remote at Bolton High School. Again, families who have opted for full-time distance learning continue to be allowed to learn from home for the remainder of this school year. We participated with Eastern Highlands Health District in offering a vaccine clinic for students 16 and up this past Tuesday. We had some students from the high school take advantage of that. That was held at Coventry High School, and we transported the students by bus there. I'd like to thank Director Goldsnyder for going with the students, as well as one of our nurses, and making sure everybody was okay.
I didn't go because of our numbers, so I stayed in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you went. Okay.
No, I was supposed to.
The Connecticut State Department of Public Health and the Connecticut State Department of Education will not be mandating, due to public health necessity, continued voluntary remote learning options for next year. As such, the Bolton Public Schools will not be providing voluntary daily access to remote learning at the unilateral request of a student or family in the 2021-2022 school year. Next slide, please. So there are 2 exceptions to this for students. The first is students who are required to quarantine due to contracting COVID-19 or being identified as a close contact will be allowed to participate in remote learning. Students will continue to access instruction through platforms as they've done this year that may include but are not limited to live streaming, learning management systems, school provided materials, and/or the CT Learning Hub. Remote learning may also be utilized according to the State Department of Education, and districts are taking advantage of this for weather-related closures. And obviously that will be as determined by me on a particular weather day, whether or not we can even do that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Giard for BCS end of the year activities.
Good evening. The energy at BCS has been very positive now that we're back in person 5 days a week. and we're approaching the end of the year. We're excited to be able to celebrate some of those end of the year activities in person, which last year we were not. The 8th grade parents were notified yesterday afternoon of the details for the in-person 8th grade class afternoon on June 3rd and promotion on June 10th. Both events have a rain date of the next day. Promotion is going to be on June 10th at 10 a.m. at Bolton High School. So we're going to be utilizing the same setup for both events. We let parents know that we'll be following all of the current COVID safety procedures that we've been following. We mentioned that there'll be more information to come about seating, parking, promotion practices, and other logistical pieces of information. In addition to the 8th grade events, we have virtual parent meetings planned for incoming kindergarten parents, 5th to 6th grade transition night, and a 5th through 8th grade academic awards assembly, which again, we didn't have those last year, but those are going to be virtual, that series of events. A quick update on the summer learning program. The staff continues to work hard in the planning of the summer learning program, and invitations were sent out last week to families, and those invitations were based on school team recommendations. So far, there's been a lot of positive feedback and quick responses. Next slide. For BCS World Language Update, along with planning for the end of the year events, we've also been planning for next year. Part of that planning for next year includes looking at staffing, current classes, and the master schedule. After thoughtful analysis, French will not be offered at BCS next year for grades 6 through 8 students in the 2021-2022 school year. It was a very difficult decision. It was made after considering many factors. Given our size and scheduling needs, we require a duly certified world language teacher, and with some uncertainty with that. French certification is an area of shortage, and should we be in a similar situation as we were this current year, it is highly unlikely that we'd find a certified teacher to work with the students. So for those of you that know, we had to have the French students during the beginning of the year start the Ingenuity online program because we didn't have a French teacher and we couldn't find one after posting for it. Since we didn't have a certified French teacher at the start of this year, current 6th and 7th graders all took Spanish. So we're in good position next year to offer Spanish since all the students this year had Spanish. French is a very specialized program. Usually about 12 to 15 kids take it each year, and it does greatly limit the elementary and middle school scheduling options. With that said, these schedules need to be completed before the end of the school year in order to plan for next year. This shift in programming will have very limited impact on the high school. Students will still have the option to start French in grade 9. Finally, we will not be able to offer 5th grade introduction to world languages next year. Due to COVID and various instructional models, we were not able to fit it into the schedule. Next year, we anticipate needing the time used for grade 5 world language to be used to ensure academic success in English language arts, mathematics, and science. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Giard. Any questions for Mr. Giard or myself? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Miceli.
Good evening. Bolton High School is beginning the process of planning our end of year events. We've really tried to reimagine these events to prioritize safety while still working to honor as many traditions as we can. And I met with senior families, well, actually, and the seniors too. We had a meeting during the day for students and an evening meeting for parents where I outlined the following plan. So in terms of prom, the class of 21 had no prom last year at all. In the fall, the senior class advisors and myself made a 100% commitment to have some kind of prom this year. And that's not something that all schools are doing, but we are. So the prom will be in person. It'll be just for our seniors, and it won't look entirely like a traditional prom. We're trying to make sure it's enjoyable and fun, lots of non-traditional things packed in there. And our school photographer will be there on site taking formal photos, and each student will receive a free download of that. The second event typically held is the Senior Awards. We call it Senior Celebration, and we usually do scholarships and awards there. And this year that will be incorporated into our graduation ceremony. So the graduation ceremony this year will be in person at Bolton High School and will be live streamed on the Bolton High School YouTube channel. As Mr. Giard mentioned, there's no indoor option. We really cannot shift this event indoors as we normally would, where we say, hey, this is graduation day. We're out if we can and in if we need to be. We cannot be inside. So we are lucky, I feel, with it being a Thursday, because that gives us Friday and Saturday and Sunday to find 2 hours of sunshine for me and 2 hours of sunshine for Mr. Giard. And we will work together with the weather prognosticators and figure that out. So we will include, as I mentioned, all the awards and scholarships. And we have been in conversation with the Bowler Scholarship Fund, and we've gotten that all organized. To maintain safety of all our families, we are issuing 6 tickets per family, and they are going to sit in pods of chairs. Each group of 6 chairs will be 6 foot separated from other families. And I measured and consulted. I took pictures. Mr. Mayland Clark climbed up on the roof and took pictures, and we figured out that we are very comfortable in actually going all the way up to 6 chairs per family. So we're excited about that. The ceremony will not be open to the public as it has been in the past. And again, Charlene will be on hand, and each student will be getting a free download picture of their, as Dean Christine Johnson likes to call, the grin and grab picture, that smiley moment when they get their photo. And you may or may not know, last year we did the drive-in graduation ceremony, which included a video, and we needed images of each graduate. So we did a family photo shoot, and that was so successful. And we really know what we're doing to be efficient and to be safe for that. And Charlene has graciously arranged that again for this year's seniors. We're asking all families to schedule a time on Sunday, May 23rd, and most families already have. And that's an opportunity to come out, no sitting fee, no fee at all to Charlene, a free digital download. And then if families wanted to purchase other stuff, there might be depending on how many people they bring, there might be quite a collection of photos as a special memento for this year. And that concludes my report. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
Chris?
Thank you. Since it will be in person and family members will be there, will we be reviving the tradition of former graduates, family member who've graduated or alumni presenting diplomas?
Short answer is yes. 2 caveats. We continued that tradition last year. Even though I was not there, they were by themselves, but we still did it last year. And Charlene captured that and we live streamed that. But yes, it will involve. My theme this year for graduation is streamlined and live streamed. So in order to make that happen, what Mr. Davies is referring to is a very a long-standing tradition of, if you are a Bolton High School graduate and you have or if you're graduating and you have a family member or an employee of the Bolton Board of Education or a Board of Education member as a family member, they can present the diploma when your name is read. So doing that and keeping all the guidelines in place have created some logistical challenges for me that I promise I will overcome. I've got it mapped out in my tired little brain, but we will be continuing that tradition this year. Yes, sir.
I believe Ms. Goldsnyder has something to report out as well regarding preschool.
Right, thank you. I just wanted to mention that we are doing a preschool screening this year. We're trying to get our preschool program up and running again fully for next year. So we are having a screening on the afternoon of May 25th, which is a Tuesday. It will be a lot different than it usually is, but we had tried to figure out a way to do a preschool screening via Zoom or Google, and with 3- and 4-year-olds, it just doesn't work that way. I mean, we need to kind of hear them talk and listen to them and try to, get peers for the program. So we are doing it in person. We're doing very small groups, 4 children, 1 adult for each child, and it's all outside. So very short session, like 20 minutes to a half-hour session for a screening. And it is again on the afternoon of May 25th with a rain date of May 26th. And we don't have 4 or 5 additional rain dates. So we're hoping for sun for at least 2 hours on one of those days. So there are screening flyers and applications up on the district website. If you have a 3- or 4-year-old, child will be 3 by the first day of school, and 4-year-olds. So go ahead and fill out your applications. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to a strategic plan update. So before I introduce Mrs. Melanowski to talk more about it, I just want to remind everybody about our mission statement to inspire all students to grow as learners, individuals, and citizens. And that our vision statement is that all students in the Bolton Public Schools are empowered to embrace learning as a healthy mindset, continually build knowledge, develop skills, and become engaged global citizens. We have used our strategic plan as our roadmap throughout this year, and I'm thankful that we have the roadmap. It's been very helpful, and it's been a great sort of North Star for us. So with that, Mrs. Melanowski.
Good evening, everyone. To make it a little more clear, our goals that you can see a little more clearly on this slide. First goal of being student success, the second one, caring culture, the third one, talent development, and of course, the fourth one with resource stewardship. And this has certainly been a year where we've been able to focus on all of these goals throughout all of the work that we've done. I will say that certainly goals 1 and 2 had a lot of activity this year. So the rest of this presentation will be a combination of my annual curriculum update, as well as professional development update, and how all of that aligns to our strategic plan. So next slide, please, Mr. Miceli. As you had seen in the winter, we used the images for each one of our goals with student success, caring culture, talent development, and resource stewardship, where they align to the different areas. So to meet all of these goals, or to support all of these goals, our curriculum work this year, we really did need to work at prioritizing our goals. We've continued that look into the spring so that we know where to start the fall. That will continue into next year. So we've already started the work to plan for next year. It's been a year of really seeing what is essential, looking at our priority goals and standards in all curriculum areas, and you'll see that as we review the different curricular areas. We've also added quite a bit of community building and SELs, just back, Joe. SEL activities into all units and all content areas, as well as one thing that you've heard throughout the year, this year was a slower pace. We needed to be, because we had so many different learning environments. And by doing that, we also learned what was essential in our curriculum and what perhaps we will save when we have a little more time and to reorganize. There was also, as you had heard, less opportunities for hands-on experiences for safety reasons. So we continued to look at various resources that allowed for alternative activities, but also opportunities for individual hands-on experiences. The learning resources really changed this year. The management systems of Seesaw and Google Enterprise were essential, and we will continue to use those next year as well. The ongoing professional learning technology has been like no other, and it has been part of our everyday work. So teachers are not waiting for a special time to learn about technology this year. It's part of our conversation, everything we're doing. We're looking at ways of capitalizing on that great professional collegiality and sharing as we move forward with our professional development plans. We've also had quite a few additions to our online resources. The common end of day planning was to support the teaching and learning was essential for this year, and we are very grateful to the board for offering us that time. So I don't want to end this year without acknowledging your great support and allowing us to be able to do the hard work that needs to be done. We couldn't have done that without it. We are looking forward to getting back to a normal schedule next year, but we do want to thank you for the time and the grace and the space for this year. That includes having the opportunity to move our Wednesdays to remote. That allowed us to meet with learners, but also the opportunity to collaborate in a way that was just essential. So a huge thank you from the staff, from the administrators for your, again, endless support. As part of that, I'm just going to detour, Joe. This is where I'm going to take it for a moment. The professional development piece as part of the work that I typically present hopefully everybody's seeing the 2021 professional learning summary. Oops, not yet. I didn't hit share. It's clear, not share. There we go. Is everybody seeing the 2021 professional learning? Thank you. This was also sent to the board members. Every year I do provide an overview, and these are the big topics of what we covered this year. This certainly does not cover every little detail, but these were the big things that we did for professional learning. At the top of our list, there was many days devoted to anti-racist leadership and educator training for administrators and teachers. The leadership development continued with for the administrative team and the academic leaders. All of our work with personalized professional learning goals were also related to our district goals. And again, that was very responsive to the learning needs this year. Team training, I was also very impressed with our staff that so many people stepped up to take on student teachers as well as mentor new teachers. As you know, we had quite a few new teachers, and the support for beginning teachers does provide a lot of training prior. Also, you may not be aware that many colleges really struggled this year placing beginning teachers, and we were new teachers, student teachers, and we were able to accept student teachers. So again, thankful to teachers for having taken on that added layer this year. We also spent a lot of time with our curriculum, with analysis and refinement, as I'd spoken to about momentarily ago. The integration of SEL and technology tools, blended learning, and AP Art had a huge focus this year for curriculum changes. In our instruction and assessment, blended learning, again, the job embedded technology PD, ready math, instructional coaching, blended learning playlist. Now this sounds similar, but it is a little bit different. This was a grant we received from the state of Connecticut, and we had 24 hours of free professional development. And we were even more fortunate to have the staff developer from CREC, who's been with us for 5 years now. So we had a great continuity of service with that. And that was especially focused for our K-5 teachers for how to reach all of our learners. To supplement that, we also made sure that our middle school teachers had opportunities for blended learning experiences and focusing with reading and writing workshop, strategies for EL students, equity in action. Both of our librarians went through a specific training about looking at equity and doing equity audits for our libraries. We had continued PD on strategies for working with specific student needs. Our new VSonic boards gave us an opportunity for some more training. The UConn ECE instructional training. Desmos is a specific math software that was used, and then work on our success criteria. So going back to the presentation, Mr. Miceli, I'll turn that back to you. So in each content area, you will see that just as in the winter, we presented the work that we did for the curriculum overview, the critical resources, and here the teachers and departments specifically listed what were essential. There were other resources used, but these were the essential resources. So you can see in English language arts, you'll see things specific such as the Teachers College videos won't be showing up in another content area. So I'm not going to read everything because we will be here all night. We have all the content areas listed here, but I'll give you a moment to take a look at the various critical resources. And these are mostly online resources, but not all of the time. And then the professional learning that was specifically pertinent to this content area is also listed. So while teachers participated in other ones listed, these were the ones that helped so this is information directly from the teachers that they felt specifically supported them this year. So you see a bit of their reflection here. And moving on to the next slide. In math, we do have the Ready Math program, which is an online program. And so that did give us a leg up in providing access to resources. And again, our teachers need to spend some time learning about all the new resources that they put out for us. And likewise at the other levels, such as CudaWorks, which I believe we've presented at the board before, on how that allows our older students to be able to use digital devices more easily. And then again, you can see the professional learning important to the math department. And then the next slide. In science, we see our focus on the NGSS standards. I did fail to mention that in English, math, and science, you may have seen that the elementaries were prioritized standards. That was information and support given to us from the State Department of Education. At the upper levels, they did not prioritize our standards. So the teachers worked together to do that based on our curriculum. The one piece from the science department, they did find that the engineering practices were integrated less frequently because many of those were related to labs. And as we talked about earlier, that was just more challenging this year for that. So that is something we're paying attention to for next year as an area to make sure that we're not missing any learning areas for students. And again, you will see our critical resources and professional learnings. Social studies. Again, you can see the teachers' reflections on the standards that they covered. You do see in social studies in the K-8 levels, this is where they had a specific integration of our SEL program second steps. So that was a specific area, content area where that was integrated more deliberately. That was not the only place it was delivered, but that was where they found some more natural ties. And then again, the 9-12 did feel that they prioritized their standards, but given the different learning environments, there were challenges at getting it to some of the depth, especially in some of the analytical pieces. It's hard to hold debates in Zoom or Google format. As we can all imagine, just holding a meeting some days is our success. So finding the other ways of doing some of that deeper level. So again, that's what we've noted in our curricular documents, and we'll be paying attention to our learners next year. You can also see our world language. 8th grade was Edgenuity this year. It was an online resource for this school year, which also helped a little bit in our decision for that just reinforced the challenge of trying to provide a quality program, and felt that, you know, we just were not doing our students the services that is Bolton quality. And then moving on to CTE courses. Now the CTE, that will be business, family, consumer science, tech ed. These areas are hands-on. And so those are the areas that the teachers really did feel that they went more slowly and covered a little bit less, just by virtue of what their content areas are. Again, very thankful for the many resources that helped. PE and health. Likewise, the challenge of sharing PE equipment, and as we saw throughout the year, the challenges with athletics, safety was first. And so I do give all the teachers where their content areas are mostly hands-on, CTE, PE, our arts, which we haven't talked about yet. Our teachers certainly went above and beyond in trying to make meaningful learning experiences. And we're excited that many of these activities that we tried and learned about will carry on into next year and only enhance our experiences when we get back to some of the more hands-on and shared materials experiences. And the arts, again, I know that we had a presentation earlier this year. The challenge with music was quite significant, and so that did have an impact on what students were able to do. Likewise with art, being able to make sure all students had the appropriate space and materials. That just was more work that the teachers need to find their ways around. And again, hats off to our teachers for the amazing job that they did, given all the challenges that were put in front of them for that. And our next steps. So as you've already heard about this evening, there's been grant funding for summer programming. And as Superintendent Heck mentioned, there's more grant funding that we'll be looking to support other ways of making sure we're not missing any learners, seeing what unfinished learning might be there, how we can accelerate that learning, any of those gaps, so that we can get our students back on track as soon as possible. And so fortunately, state, federal government, seeing that this is they're committed to a multi-year plan, and we are actively planning for how we will begin next year now. Teachers are really just doing the final steps at documenting what they need to in the curriculum so that we can pick up at the beginning of the year with, getting to know our kids. And I'm going to be optimistic and that glass half full when we're back in class and seeing some smiling faces and really getting to know our kiddos in ways that we're, as educators, way more comfortable with. And so fortunately, we will have some funding and some opportunities to enhance our programming. The summer programming, again, is for this summer only. We learned an awful lot about ways of integrating SEL activities. And again, that will continue next year, and certainly harness all the learning from this year. I know that people are exhausted, overwhelmed, and some people are like, let's put this year behind us. But I have to be very honest, it is amazing to see the incredible new learning from teachers and students. And we are working to capture the best of that so that we can bring that forward, because much of that is very well aligned to the mastery work we had started a number of years ago with a portrait of a graduate. So we started talking about how we can harness all of that and begin moving forward in the work that we had started. And then finally, of course, we would like to continue with exploring and learning and using the best of the online resources and blended learning experiences, because we did learn that when students have more choice and opportunities to show what they learned, that it's better for them, and teachers are much more comfortable with the new ways of students showing their learning. So we're excited to continue with that piece. So with that, that concludes my overview. Again, all of this is to support our strategic goals and our portrait of a graduate as we empower, build, develop, and become. Any questions?
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was that everything, Mrs. Hecht?
Yep, I'm sorry, that concludes Superintendent's report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there, unfinished business? We have the 2021-2022 budget.
Yes, so the Board of Selectmen voted to postpone the budget referendum until June. There is a new budget meeting scheduled with the Board of Finance on Thursday, May 27th. Both the town and the Board of Education have been asked to provide health insurance budget information at that meeting as a result of open enrollment, which will close on May 24th. So Casal and I are going to be really busy for a couple of days getting that all worked out. I also shared with the Board of Finance, and I've shared this with board members before, that it is likely, in fact, I'm certain of it, that we will be needing to add monies to special education to next year's budget as a result of recent unanticipated changes. I've shared that with the Board of Finance as well, and this piece will also be a part of what we share at the May 27th Board of Finance meeting. I believe the Board of Finance's intent is to hopefully set the budget at that meeting and likely make further reductions based on the numbers that are brought forward. Potentially, it is possible that there may be additional information to be shared in terms of monies that will be coming to the town of Bolton, although that has not been officially announced or shared, to my knowledge, at least at this point. So I think they felt strongly that a little more time was wise and prudent before they set a budget number and sent that to referendum. That is it for the 2021-2022 budget update.
Thank you. New business, we have the first read on the environmental science textbook.
Yes, thank you. So it is time for us to purchase a new environmental science textbook for our Yukon Environmental Science Program. Our current text is woefully outdated. And so Ms. Carvalho did an excellent job at comparing various texts and communicating actually with Yukon about different resources, and actually has chosen the text that Yukon does not use, because she found a text that was actually better aligned to their syllabus, that she felt offered more opportunities for having an ebook as well as a textbook in an affordable manner, but also aligned to the AP exam. So should we ever be in the position where, and I can't imagine this would happen, but you never know, so let's always plan. If Yukon was not available for credit, this course would then be aligned to the AP course with minor modifications, you know, and so that also serves us well in that regard. So we would like to offer up, the text name is, I just switched my slide and I didn't mean to, is titled Environment, the Science Behind the Stories. We would be interested in purchasing approximately, again, this varies based on our enrollment. So her numbers are based on how many kids over the past few years, but approximately 30 texts. And she would like to purchase, or we would like to purchase the e-text. And for 30 e-text copies, which is a 6-year license, it's $3,629. We would also recommend purchasing some hardcover textbooks for various learners, or should that resource be needed. And if we had bought 30 of the hardcover texts, it's $4,440. So, you know, it's just a small ask to add for 3 to 5 hard copy texts. So we do have a hard copy text that is available for a public viewing of this text, and we would like to put that out for first read.
Thank you. Mrs. Hecht, I'm guessing you are the resignations.
Yes, ma'am. So I would like to inform the board that our cafeteria manager, Debbie Bogner, will be retiring at the end of this school year. I say that with great sadness. She has been a godsend for us as we maneuvered the pandemic in the area of food services, which has been a tremendous challenge. She is going to be greatly missed, and I would like to thank her for her dedicated service of 21 years to the Bolton Public Schools, and I wish her health and happiness and enjoyment with those grandbabies in retirement. And that is it for resignations this evening.
Okay, any future business?
No.
Okay, to move to executive session, what do we do?
So we need a motion to adjourn to executive session and invite me to attend, please.
Okay, does anyone make that motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss the superintendent's evaluation and contract, and to invite the superintendent to join us.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, we're moving to executive session.
Recording stopped. Thank you. Joe, can you be the last one that stays on so you can make sure I'm all set here?
Absolutely.
Thank you.